It may seem like a simple setup, but it comes up way more than you would think. The question of how exactly do we connect meetings to both projects and tasks so that when we're in a meeting and we want to quickly capture tasks, they're automatically tied to whatever project the meeting is about. This is a quick one, but we're getting into how to relate meetings to both projects and tasks databases using Notion's new database automations feature to automatically populate a tasks project when it's already tagged in your meeting. If we haven't met before, I'm Dave DeCespedes. I'm a certified Notion consultant. I work with clients on everything from migrating to Notion, optimizing workflows, setting up automations. So if you're interested about what we do, check out the notioncoach.com. The link is below. Before setting up our meeting page template, I do want to do a quick walkthrough of existing databases just to see how they're set up, some high-level information on each. So with meetings, first off, pretty common properties that we'd track in a meetings database like date, if it's related to a project, internal attendees, and in my case, I like to also track external contacts from a contacts database. The next one is in the projects database. If we open a project page, we could see here it's tied to an area, the schedule, specifically start and end date, progress on these tasks. This is rolling up completed tasks as a percentage of total tasks, and then the status of the project. And we could see here there's an expanded relation for the meetings database. And then the last database, which is tasks, if we open a task page, let's open this full screen, we can see here we have these properties docked at the top, status, who it's assigned to, the target due date, and the estimated time. Again, this changes based on what properties we want to prioritize using Notion's new customized layouts feature. And in this case, we've got two relations, specifically project and meetings, so that we could identify for a particular task what project is it tied to, and was it captured in a particular meeting. The first thing we're going to do is back in our homepage in projects, we're going to set up a brand new project template. So we're just going to call this Warcraft project. Let's open this full screen. And we're going to set up a few filtered views for a couple reasons that we'll get into in a bit. But let's say this is related to the Warcraft area, schedule, we're going to leave that blank, and progress. We can see here we have the option to show meetings. The obvious database view that we'll set up is tasks. And what I'm going to do is filter this task list to only show tasks related to this particular project. So you can see here that this is empty. Every time we use this template, it's going to update this view automatically to show any tasks related to that new project. So from here, just setting up some quick changes. We just want to see status, date. We'll leave out time estimate. And then for status, we're just going to show this as a simple checkbox and move this over here. Kind of move that to the side. So keeping it pretty simple here. The next thing we're going to do is set up a new view, and we're going to call this by meeting. And basically what we're going to do is group tasks by the meeting that they were captured in. So we're going to select the meetings relation, and we've got these two views set up. The next part of this project template is going to be the meetings database. And we're going to follow the same steps, specifically filtering to only show meetings related to this project. So we're going to select that one and select our current template page. And from here, we're going to show this as a simple list where we really only see the date of the meeting and maybe attendees, both internal and external. So move that over. So we've got that view set up. We're going to create a new meeting template, and we're going to call this Smarter Meetings. And let's give this an icon. So here we'll add standard things like an agenda, maybe some notes. And then at the very bottom, let's make this full screen. When we add our tasks, let's add a linked view of our task database. And then we're going to filter this by the current meeting so that only this meeting's tasks are showing up. And then we're also going to show this as a simple table view where we've got, I'm going to hide everything except for status, assigned to, and date. I think one more thing is let's just ungroup this so that it's just showing everything in a simple table. Okay, we want to set up an automation, which is anytime the meeting is tied to a particular project, we want that project to be assigned to the task as well. The one last step before we set up our automation is we're going to add a roll up in tasks, and we're going to call this meeting project. So we're going to say that for tasks that have a related meeting, we're going to look for that meetings project and then just show that original. So we're going to go back to our meetings database, and we're going to open Smarter Meetings template. So here we're going to click in this automation. We're going to create a new automation, and we're going to call this task inherits meeting project. And we're going to set the trigger so that anytime a task is added where there is a meeting, so we're going to say, we're going to look for meetings, and we're going to say when a meeting is edited, then we're going to run this automation. So before we select the next automation steps, we need to define a variable, which we're looking for the trigger page and specifically the meeting project. So let's look for that option, meeting project. This is defining if there is a page that is within that property, within that roller property. We're going to show that, and we're going to use that to fill in the tasks project. So we're going to look for edit property, and we're going to select project. And here we're going to choose custom formula, and we're going to choose variable 1 and click save. So now we've got this running for all pages and tasks. So now what we're going to do is create a project, add in some information, create a meeting page where we can log our meeting notes, capture any tasks, and just confirm that when we add those tasks, it's inheriting the project from the meeting page. We're going to open up an existing project. So let's go to our projects database, open up this project. We have our standard information about the project, some tasks, some meetings, and let's open up one of these meeting pages. We have our standard meeting properties. We could see here that this meeting is tied to this project via the meeting to project relation. We've got our standard agenda items, but let's say we want to add some tasks that come up from this meeting. So just to test out this automation. So we're going to add refine template features, fix usability issues, and prep for beta testing. And you can see here that the automation is running in the background. It's looking at the meetings page and if there's a project associated, and then populating the project's relation in the task. Now, if I go back to our project page, a useful view for tasks could be if we want to group tasks by meeting, you could then see a chronology of when tasks were added for this project by meeting. So you can kind of go back into the history. So not only tracking tasks by status or by due date, but also taking a look at specifically when those tasks were added and if they were added in a particular meeting. There are so many use cases for database automations, and for a lot of teams that have been a little intimidated by using third-party automation tools, it's a great way to start incorporating automations into existing workflows, which at the end of the day should make work easier or faster or both. So let me know what you think, and if you're curious about specific automations, definitely let me know in the comments. Happy to deep dive on as many of those as possible. And last note, if you found this helpful, give it a like. To see more Notion and productivity content, subscribe to the channel. And lastly, check out my newsletter called Workcraft, where we dive into Notion updates, new tools and strategies to work smarter. As always, hope that was helpful, and see you in the next one.